Welcome to the Bleep Bulimia podcast with guest Joseph Corella, movement coach and creator of 567 Broadway. Hi, everyone. I am Lori Ann. I am the host of Bleep Bulimia. And today I'm so pleased to have Joseph Corella. He is a choreographer, Broadway performer, dance teacher, movement coach, and also the owner and creator of 567 Broadway. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Lorianne, for having me on.
So let's start with, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, I just love dance, so this is so exciting having you on here.
Yeah, there's a lot to say, I guess. But overall, I started dance when I was at a young age, like when I was 7. And I really started learning at a young age the benefits of dance, of the arts, of music, of connecting to movement. And it has really helped me my whole life to be sitting here in this very moment. So I wanted to perform professionally. It hasn't always been, the journey has not always been easy, obviously. But again, the thing that I have such a love and a passion for dance and the arts. And it has really helped me understand what section of life to move on to the next two with. And long story long, I started performing. I wound up getting on Broadway. I did national tours. I performed in Vegas in a musical. And then my husband and I moved to Los Angeles for him to go to law school. And he's a Broadway performer as well, but he decided to switch it up, which is great. This is a while ago now. So this is over a decade ago. But when we did that, everything started changing. So once I moved to Los Angeles, it kind of switched it up. And that's when I got into teaching dance fitness, and randomly, and because that was not on my radar to do. And I started teaching dance fitness to adults, and I fell in love with it. I loved it so much. I still love it. I don't think adults get enough creative outlets in a way, but I try to create a safe space and allow adults to sweat, to have fun, to be goofy, to keep that childlike fun alive. And that's when I created a dance fitness program called 567 Broadway, which is a dance fitness class to Broadway music. So, you can't help but have fun with that, and created a workout video. And I also have some stuff on YouTube. I love YouTube for the fact of information you can get from there. And I teach live stream classes now because of the pandemic. That was, as much as this has been crazy and wild, I have really been able to, thank goodness for technology and connecting to people through technology from around the world. So, and that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell.
So what were the first, was it Broadway music that inspired you to start dancing, or what kind of music was it?
I mean, I loved music from the get-go. I remember listening to like my mom's Cadillac. She had like, this is like I remember my mom got a new Cadillac, and it had a CD player, but it had like the most random music that the Cadillac provided for like on a CD. And I loved it. I don't really remember that, but I do remember Flashdance. We had Flashdance on a CD, and I loved that. Nat King Cole, Stardust. I remember listening to that in my room, and that's where and just being like, this is magical. And I could feel there is such power in music. There's such healing power. There's also science behind of what music does to us. And I could feel that at a young age. And storytelling. I loved storytelling. So when musicals were introduced to me through my elementary school, that's when I really started to love storytelling in front of people. And that began my journey there. And I've never let go of it. That's
wonderful. And so, we were chatting, I was explaining this about bulimia, but one thing that I love about is when you're talking about the healing process and how it can help. So if you want to just speak a little bit to that and how dance does provide, that positive.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and specifically my journey of what movement has done, I always say movement because dance can scare people. So you're like, dance, and they're like, and so it's really connecting to movement for you. And each one of us has something unique. Movement has taught me that, and the choices that we make. And I know for me, I had a lot of things that were pushing me down at a young age. This is my journey. But like, I knew I was gay at a young age, and I grew up in a very religious family. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. There was not only did I knew I was gay, but I danced as well. So I was bullied a lot but I did have a lot of support too. So I will say that, but it was a weird thing to experience at a young age. Like here I am authentically being myself, but man, people were really trying to pull me away from that. The thing is I loved dance so much that no one was ever going to take that away from me. And I thank my younger self for holding on to that. And again, for me, I learned a lot of amazing benefits of that. It held on to me. Movement held on to me. It helped me when through those really dark moments, terrified, scared, anxiety, depression, the whole spectrum of emotions. Dance was a healthy outlet to escape, to find myself, to just experience joy when sometimes I was like just devastated to be me at the time, but I don't feel that way today. Obviously life is a journey, and forever it will be a journey of constantly learning and understanding myself in many different ways, understanding the world. But dance musicals and overall, musicals have really helped me connect to the world. And I really, I believe in the arts. I believe the arts are really powerful. And I really, I hope that if you're in your community, I encourage you to support the arts because it does need help and support, and it transformed my life. And I've seen it transform other people's lives as well. So, yeah.
That's very true. I absolutely, like I was saying, I love movement dance.
Yes.
And I wanted to be a ballerina, of course, like a lot of young girls do, but I was too tall. They were saying I was too tall, and I'm 5'9", but funny thing is, I kept saying, no, I'm not too tall. I can do it. I'm not too tall. But then I went to see a ballet, and the guy dancing was 5'9", and I'm thinking, whoa, he's tall.
You're like, wait a minute.
Awkward, right? I was thinking, and then I thought, oh my goodness, I found out he was my height. I'm going, now I understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things with the ballet world, and yeah, I've heard on many different spectrums about it. But that's why, like, for me, I've had people come into my class specifically and say, my teacher was so horrible to me, or I was so shamed. And I'm like, gosh darn, like that it destroyed it. I feel so bad. But that's where I really, in that like 567 Broadway or my class, helped them find that love again for dance and for movement or whatever we might have experienced. I remember my ballet teacher used to tell me I had too big of legs, which made me laugh, actually. He'd be like, your legs are too big. We can't change that now. I'm like, that, like, but when you hear stuff like that, it can be really hard. But I know for me, I was just like, well, I love to dance. And that's why I love Broadway's. There's a lot of, it's super exciting and super fun. Musicals in general, the world needs, I always kind of say, like, make life a musical. Yes. the world needs to sing and dance. I think there would be a lot of healing if we can get the whole world singing and dancing.
Oh, I agree. And it's fun too, because I'm now staying with my parents and helping them out. They're helping me out. I'm helping them out. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm singing a lot more since I've been here, and it does make you feel better. And I even, there's room to dance. So I'll play music and I'll just dance. And, I dance like, nobody's watching. Nobody is. But really,
yeah. I know, you're like, yeah, I know. Think we've all kind of experienced dancing at home. That's why I love virtual classes. That became a new thing for me because I'm a group. I do love being around people. And so to take that away from me, whoo, I think for me, I'm still like, we're recovering much more, but it was really tough for me. And sound therapy has been real. I was thinking about that today. Sound therapy has been really huge for me, even though I've never taken a sound therapy class or anything. So I've always used sound as a way to feel better, understand. I started, putting on spa music to like just help me just stay sane, or like especially dancing in my kitchen. I love putting on music. And my husband, he'll be like, why are you dancing? Like sometimes I'll just like start dancing in front of him randomly, and he'll be like, what? I'm like, I just want to dance. Like, and he's like, oh gosh, he's so used to me just dancing around everywhere.
Oh, that's wonderful. And it really does. I know, when you're right, if you're kind of in a sort of depression or anxiety or anything, and you put some fun music on, my sister, I'll play it, and she goes, we've got to do a routine together. We used to do that when we were little. Like, we used to do routines and then do it in front of mom and dad just for fun.
I love it.
I
Love
mean,
it.
I'm sure they were really bad, but we didn't care. We thought we were good. Um,
Only if there was TikTok around at that time, you could have.
oh my gosh, right? My parents would have put us up there and then we would have been really embarrassed.
I
I think
love
I
it.
Shot the Sheriff was the one I still remember doing.
That's awesome.
The one that we want to do that she wants to do is, it's from the Happy Feet movie, I get
That's
knocked down, then I get up again. I
that's a good
just
one.
love that song. Like when we see each other, we start doing.
Because it allows you, I think the thing that those things do is it pulls you into the present moment, and it pulls you into the present moment together. We kind of just are like, oh, we're having fun, but it really allows you to be creative and connect in a way. I know for me, I'm, I am a way like an introvert, because I can get like real, like, I'm like, I don't want to see anybody. Like, and as much as I am a people person, I can go in the opposite direction as well. If I don't take some time away, then I can easily get overwhelmed. I have really had to learn to refuel. But with allowing creativity and allowing myself to just be creative around other people and connect, there's just so much. We need community. And I think that's been really tough through this pandemic, is we've had to really take care of each other by being separate, but we've missed those moments of being together and having those community moments. But that's why I love teaching, because I, especially via Zoom, I had no clue what I was doing in the beginning, but like, you learn. But it's been really cool to see people come together virtually, and even though we're all separate, it did start to kind of mold together. And I would see everybody on my screen, and I would record our combination that we would do at the end. And I'd say, if you don't want to be in it, just turn off your camera. But like, and then I would post it so that they could see everybody together, because, dance is a language that you do kind of want to experience together, like you and your sister did, making a number up.
What we do as kids that you don't do when you're older, but that's the other thing too. I'm really liking TikTok in the sense that you see all ages dancing, because some people will say some people don't want to dance when they're older because you've got the younger people looking at them, oh my gosh, you look so silly when you dance. But you don't feel silly. You feel the same as you did when you were in your 20s, when you're older.
Yeah.
But it's more that fear, but then you got to realize, you know what, who cares, And I love seeing that there's people on, even in their 80s, so they're dancing on TikTok. And I'm going, yeah.
I know I didn't get into TikTok until last year, because, I have to admit, I'm on a couple social media platforms, and I'm like, another social media platform to deal with. However, I'm so glad I did, because it is a really creative, fun platform. It's interesting that everybody in it, and it's actually non-dancers that TikTok, the platform, it seems to like really like watching everyday, quote unquote, everyday people do these dances. And it's kind of like, who can do it the best? Like, it's competitive. I'm like, where was this when I was younger? By meaning, like, everybody was making fun of me for like doing my dances. Now it's like cool. They're like, how many can this go viral from doing this dance? I'm like, well, I love that it's really pushing out dance and the creativity, people doing character work. They have these characters. And I know for me, my husband and I, we started doing these random dance competition entrances. And I was like, I grew up in the dance competition world. So like, I know that world all too well. I choreographed on Dance Moms. Like, I know it from inside out. And we were in lockdown, and we were using creativity naturally. We put on music, and we were just trying to like have some fun. And we started doing these dance competition entrances. And I was like, I think this would be fun to like post on TikTok. I don't know. I think I'm kind of learning about it. Post it on TikTok, and that went viral. And I was like, what is and it was and it's become its own thing. And I love creativity for that, because you just can't, at the end of the day, you just create and you kind of let things happen. But it's fun to see how everybody does come together on these social media platforms. But it can be a lot. So I'm not like everything's perfect. It can be a lot.
It can be, but it is a lot of fun. And so, yeah, so on TikTok, listeners, if you want to take a look, you're it's at 567.
Yeah, 567 Broadway.
Broadway.
So if you go on any social media platform, it's most likely I have that there. But TikTok, it will be 567 Broadway, and you'll see the craziness. I love it's now, but that's the only thing people want to see. My husband and I do on TikTok. They're like, wait, no, we just want to see dance competition entrances. We've done so many by this point, but people have like, we've made these characters randomly. It was just a random thing. We picked names randomly. Like my husband he called me Blanche Dubois as one of the, I know, and he was in Pete's Streetcar Named Desire. And that stuck. And people are like, oh my gosh. And they become they like Blanche. They love Blanche for the fact that her strength, her courage, like it became its own thing. And I'm like, I love it. So it's kind of like a fun character building with a group full of people on social media.
Oh, it's fun. Now, I do want to speak a little bit to that too, because part of the reason, listeners, I wanted Joseph on here was to speak to, dance. And those of you struggling with bulimia, who love to dance, really, I highly recommend it, because I think that hobbies are important, and something that you love to do. Creativity, very important as well. And I was looking at your website. It's very, I know there's one coming up. I don't know if this will be up in time, but do you do them on the Saturdays, or are they, because I know there's one coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, I do them on Saturdays, and for the holiday season, I'll take a couple of weeks off. But after the new year, yeah, I'll be back, and all that is at 567broadway.com. So if anybody's like, wait, where do I take your classes? 567broadway.com. But yeah, I teach live stream classes, and it's so much fun. It's a safe space.
Very reasonable too, price wise, very reasonable.
I really want to make sure that everybody can participate. Yeah.
So, that's exciting. So that's something I was thinking, well, it's too bad. I should take over.
But yeah, when the time is right too. I always tell people, sometimes people will be like, oh, I'm going to take this weekend. And I'm like, okay, like, and they're like, oh, I can't make it. I'm like, it's okay. Whenever you can make it, but the one thing, if you're listening, I know for me, dance has helped me in so many different ways. And even if you just put on your favorite song in your room, I do that all the time. I need music so much. And it's so I can't encourage you enough just to close the door, put on your favorite song. Maybe it's Celine Dion and you need a dramatic dance and a movement, and just allowing yourself to connect to yourself. And it really has helped me understand myself when I couldn't understand myself. I'm not saying it like magically solves everything instantly, but it for sure has opened doors, led me to the right door that I need to go through, and has always continued to help me through some really tough times. This pandemic has not been easy for all of us. I know that. And I know, especially for me, I started to feel a lot of emotions again that I have not, anxiety, fear, and then not being able to move around and being in a lot of change. So I know I had to really tap into movement again in a way that I had not really tapped in a while, or it was not that I needed to. And so I had to really, really do that. But I can encourage you, you don't have to do an hour in a class. It can just be that, but it can maybe lead you to more things, and, finding those safe spaces. And I know 567 Broadway is a safe space for everyone to just come, explore, create, sweat, have fun, and take care of ourselves. And it's, one dance step at a time.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. I thank you so much for this. Again, I don't know how much to say. I also was thinking with the music too. Sometimes you don't even know when you're anxious. Sometimes you don't even know what you're anxious about, but the music can actually lift you and sometimes make you aware of what it is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you'll be suddenly you're just, you're in like a bad, like, I know when I'm not in the best of moods, there's obviously something that's going on. I'm like, maybe I'm not getting enough rest. Maybe I'm overexerting myself and not saying no enough for some things, whatever it is. But then I'll be like, I'm just going to like do a little movement and put on some music. And then the next thing you know, I'm like moving around and it's like dramatic and crazy. And I'm like, ooh, I had a lot to get out. Or even when you don't, you're just like, I don't know, let's just, I love when people come to take class and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I had no clue how much I needed that. That happened the other week. A friend of mine is going through a lot right now. And it's been busy, so she hasn't been able to dance as much. And she finally was able to dance last weekend. And she was like, Joseph, I feel so much better. And I knew I needed to dance, but I did not know I needed to dance that badly. And I'm so glad I did, because I feel different, and that's great. And I'm like, that's the magic of dance and movement. And, I also too, I just want to say this. I know it can I have had to really learn to just, take it easy. Just, no, there's no rush, and it's not about being perfect. And again, for 567 Broadway, I really just try to create a safe space for people to explore. It's not about being perfect. And, I hope when the time is right for you that you come take that, or I have a workout video, or I have stuff on YouTube. There's so much, whatever it is. I hope that you, when in doubt, dance it out.
I love that. When in doubt, dance it out.
That's very true. Very true.
Well, thank you again so much for being a guest here and discussing that. And I hope listeners, you go to the site. Apparently, like seriously, if you love to dance, it's great, and it's virtual too, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Some people I know, even with this pandemic, as much as they're glad that it's opened up, they're still a little bit hesitant. So it's nice to be able to have this opportunity to dance with other people and still in a safe space, definitely in their home.
Definitely. Yeah, I know. And I try to talk about those things. I try to bring some real things, like it's not easy. And what are you feeling today? And okay, bring it to the dance floor. And the thing for me is, like, I'm telling you something that I've learned through the time of dancing since I was 7 to now. It's always just bring it to the dance floor and in a safe space. And that's how amazing it is now that we can do that from our home too. Like, that is really, because there was a lot of things that we should have been able to actually have that already, but the pandemic just kind of catapulted us into making that the new normal. And I have a feeling we're never going to get rid of these virtual classes, or it's only going to improve and get better, so that you don't have to necessarily maybe drive in 45 minutes of traffic to get to the class that you love. You can do it from your home in a safe space.
Absolutely. Now, I do have one more question before I let you go. Being the movement coach, do you also do the one-on-ones, like with people?
I mean, I do sometimes. It's not something that I continue to push forward, but I have worked with many different people over the years, one-on-one, and in what works for them. But if anybody's interested in that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, 567broadway.com will have everything. Even if you want to email me, there's a link there, and you can email me there. And if you're like, wait, you talked about YouTube, where's that? It's all there. But if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to send me an email. I'm happy to answer.
Thanks again for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Be sure to visit me at bleepbulimia.com.